Hey guys, my name is Alec Torelli. Welcome back to the Hand of the Day. I'm really excited for today's topic. Be sure you stay tuned to the end. I'm going to share my 3 favorite tips for today's topic and really 3 secrets I sort of work with to maximize my success in today's issue. So hang in there. Today's question comes from Christopher George, who says, how do you divide up your day in order to maximize your success in poker? He gives specific examples like fitness, food, studying, playing, etc. How do you fit it all in to make it work the best so you can give yourself the best chance of success? So, Christopher, great question. And I think as I've grown in my poker career, I've realized the importance of this, the importance of finding a synergy between the things that happen in your life outside of poker and the things that happen in poker. And when these two energies are aligned, when you are finding that you're being successful in one area, it's much easier to be successful in the other. And so what I did today is I tried to break down the things that I use in both areas of life and poker, the really fundamental things that are my stabilizer and that have really made me successful and that I believe are the anchors to my system. So 3 key things: exercise, routine, and being in touch with your intention. Okay, so exercise is a huge part of my life, but more than exercise, I would say health and wellness, eating right and feeling good, finding foods in your diet that make you feel better and perform better, laying off caffeine and alcohol and drugs and high foods that make you fatigued, like eating lots of sugars, simple sugars, dairy, gluten, all those things that give you brain fog, cut out and add in the good things like vegetables, green juice. You've heard it before, man, nothing new. Nuts, omega-3s, those sort of things is extremely important because that's an anchor. Okay, so no matter what you're doing, what your goal is, this is going to fuel that, right? Your body is, your fuel, and you really need it to be working optimally in order to produce your best results. And that's what you're trying to do, whether it's in poker or any other activity that you're pursuing, especially a mental game like poker, though. Remember, a way to put this into perspective is that there's a lot of things in the world you can get more of, right? Money is a commodity you could get more of. There's 2 things you really can't get more of, right? And there's time and your body, okay? So it's really important to prioritize those above everything else because they are very limited commodities, right? So when you start to think about like supply and demand and how that affects price, that should really give you some indication about how important this really is, okay? It cannot be overstated. So health is extremely important, and that's really the foundation that goes back to everything I do. I work out 5 days a week. I do cardio. I like to do things that make me feel good. I do like high intensity training, get my heart rate up. I like to sweat, releases steam. I mean, there's millions of benefits, but it's just so integral to my life that I just can't imagine that not being the center of my day. So when I think about my day, planning when I'm going to exercise, work out, how I'm going to eat, my meals are always, it's not, when I say my meals are planned and my exercise is planned, it's not like I'm super meticulous and I don't enjoy eating out, or I'm like, I can never cheat or have unhealthy food because I don't enjoy life or anything. That's not true at all. But what I mean by that is that I'm always cognizant of that. And so if I'm going to be going out for the day, I will take simple but effective steps to plan ahead. So I'll make a smoothie and take it to go. I'll get little to-go cups or whatever. Lots of things. I'll plan ahead. I'll just cook once for the day to make it more economical and more efficient. I'll cook once in the morning and I'll have food for the rest of the day or the next couple days, and just make it easy on myself. So, but just starting to think about that and getting that to be a priority in your life really makes it easier and less overwhelming, right? It's just a shift in priority. That's so important. The second thing is routine. I like to write things down that I'm going to do. I like to have a structure in my day, especially when as a professional poker player or as an entrepreneur, as someone that's independent, it's really hard to have accountability. And so I like to cheat and find little ways to hold myself accountable, and having a routine where, I'll plan out the day before and not leaving everything to my current emotions or my current whimsical feelings. I find that makes me a lot more productive. So knowing what I'm going to do and having systems in place, specifically the gym is a really good one. If you have a class that you're taking at the gym, or you know a specific time you're going, maybe you have a personal trainer, anything that adds accountability to your day, I find really, really helps productivity. And you can kind of structure your day, which I'm going to talk about in a second, so hang in there, to have different energies throughout the day in conjunction with accountability that I find really, really helps. So finding ways to make that routine fun, but not necessarily, there's a balance between having repetition and having excitement. So you need to find that balance, because too much of a routine every day where you're doing the same shit is terrible, right? And that's why people want to be entrepreneurs, so they could get away from that, right? So you want the flexibility without the without the mundane, right? So it's finding that balance. And so that can mean changing your routine, meaning switching the order of things or switching the energy of things that you do, switching your focus from day to day, because you're multi-passionate, you have different things going on. That's fine and healthy, but having some routine is what's important. I'm going to talk about that in a second. And the third thing is really being in touch with intention. So that kind of goes into what your routine is going to be for that day. Being in touch with intention means, how are you feeling? What energy are you feeling like you're wanting to work on? Where is your emotion or intention taking you for that day? What are you feeling connected to? And I think that as an independent entrepreneur, as a poker player, as someone who has the freedom and liberty to choose, I think especially when you're talking about wanting to maximize your success in poker, really being in touch with how you're feeling and what you're feeling about your intention about playing poker, and what energy you're putting towards playing poker. Are you waking up, do you notice some sense of frustration or some ego or some judgment? And if you're taking that to the poker table, that's going to hinder your performance. Okay, so when you're being in touch with yourself, I think that's really, really important to take to your day and your poker playing. Especially maybe you have something else going on in your life that you need to fix. You have some errands you have to run, some bills you have to pay, some stresses that need to be addressed before you can give yourself fully to poker. And those things come into being in touch with your intention. So now I'm going to go through my my day with you. I'm going to give you an example of how I structure my day. So in the morning, I'll always have personal time. I like to beat the day. I like to be up early, even though a lot of times I'm not because of poker or other things that are happening in my life. I travel a lot. It makes it hard to be in a very strict routine where I'm up at 6 a.m. every day. But if I had my choice, I would be. If I have my choice, I do have my choice, but sometimes I don't prioritize it as well as I could. So anyway, I like to be up early, and the first half hour of the day is really personal time. It's time for me to get in touch with my intention. I like to meditate or do visualization where if I have something coming up, for example, a big poker tournament, I'll imagine myself in all the possible challenges I'm going to face, in all the possible energies that I'm combating during that time, and how I'm going to challenge them, address them, overcome them. I do a lot of meditation and visualization. I mean, it is what it is. I do that, and I think that's really, really important. It's really centering myself. It really keeps me present throughout the day, keeps me happier. I have moments of gratitude in the morning, and I like to pick a word of the day that I'm focusing on. Today, my word was agitation, because I'm a little stressed. I'm going to St. Kitts in a couple days, and I'm really preparing for this tournament. I have a lot of things going on. It's the holidays, so I felt a little agitated, a lot of things I had to do. So my intention today was to try and find peace during the agitation and just be in touch with that emotion and not let it get to me. That was my word for today. So after that time, I'll have productive work, and I divide my days here. Sometimes I have an online business that I run. I have 7, 8 employees that work for me, and I do a lot of online marketing with that. And so a lot of times I have things that commitments I have to make with this business. So if I have productive work time, I'll work on my online business. I have conference calls, accounting, things like that I have to do, optimizing campaigns, stuff I won't bore you with. But anyway, I have productive time, and that's right afterwards, and that's about until 10 a.m. Or if I don't have my business I have to work on that day, I'll have creative time. For example, making these videos, creating products for 4-Step Poker, putting out my course, finding ways to help other people in poker, stuff like that I really, really enjoy doing. And after that, I'll go to the gym. And I really find this helps me because it breaks up my day, and I have one energy that I'm taking in the morning, and then I could complete that energy, and I could separate that with something that is completely different, which is going to the gym. I get out of the house, I do something totally different. When I come back, it's like I have a second day almost. I have lunch and I'm ready to go, and it's like I have a new day, a new set of energy that I'm approaching. And that'll generally be like creative work, or I will play poker. If it is a day that I choose to play poker, I'll do some coaching. I might do some learning or reading at that time, or socialize. So that's sort of how I break up my day. And I told you about the tips I'm going to talk to you about in the beginning that I want to share with you at the end that's going to kind of tie all this together. So one thing that I think is really, really important to do that I find really helps me, we talked about the accountability and the routine earlier, is to write a list of things down before the day starts. And I have lists all around my desk. I could show you, this is an example of some things I have to do. And I just cross them out. Actually, Simon Sinek, who is an excellent speaker on TED, has a great talk about this, about how writing lists down and crossing things out releases dopamine in your brain, and it makes you satisfied. It makes you feel like you accomplished something. I was doing this before I listened to that talk, but putting the science behind it really fascinated me and it made it cool. And so he makes a joke how you should write things down and cross them off just to do it. And actually, I found that really, really helps me. And I was doing that before, and now it's like I even am more cognizant of doing that. And so my recommendation is to start with the easiest thing that guarantees success. So you kind of have a snowball effect. You build up from something that's really trivial that you need to get done in the morning, and then build up to the more difficult things. And it kind of creates momentum throughout the day, and it doesn't get you overwhelmed in the morning. If you know you have to get up and do some immense task first thing, it's a little hard to get yourself plugging, right? To get yourself going. So I write down super trivial things, respond to an email, I don't know, deposit a check electronically, like something super easy that you could do that takes a second and you're going to succeed at, okay? That's what's important. Make a smoothie for breakfast. Maybe if you're trying to get in shape, you write down what you're going to eat. I find that writing stuff down makes me really accountable. I don't do that because I'm not that strict. I'm not at a point where I'm trying to be that strict in my diet, but if I was, I would do that. Also write down the gym. Maybe write down a schedule, and if you really want to be precise, write down how long you want to dedicate to each activity and estimate the time, double it so that you don't stress, you're not worried, and do that. And you could really structure your day as strictly or as liberally as you want, but I think that's really, really huge. The second thing is with poker. You talked about wanting to be successful in poker, okay? So have days allocated to poker where your routine and your energy will be different than those days that aren't allocated to poker. Now, I talked earlier about the days that I'm working on my online business. Those are generally not days that I play poker. And if I get things done that I need to, I might play poker later, but poker is flexible, so take advantage of the choice that you have. And on these days, no other distractions or energies or anything like that causes stress should enter your space. No errands, and the entire day should be surrounded by poker to make you more successful. Similar to like an athlete on game day, right? The Lakers don't go to a big game and show up in the morning and Kobe's, has to worry about his Amex bill that he has to pay, or he doesn't have to call his health insurance provider. He doesn't have to do any of that stuff, because those are things that you do on a different day. Because when you get up, it's game time. So take advantage of that flexibility. You're not playing poker 7 days a week, 60 hours a week. You don't need to, you shouldn't be. And if you are, that's a unique week. So treat that week like a vacation. You finish everything you need to before that week. But in a normal situation, I like to pick days where I'm doing different things. So I will have all my stuff I'm doing on one day that's like errands, groceries, anything like that I need to do, I will do. And then the next day I get up and that whole day is like planned around how I'm going to be successful in poker. So I'll get up, of course, I'll work out. I might watch some inspiring poker videos. I might study a bit. I might talk hands with some friends. I will plan the day around that energy to make me successful. And on the other days, I will grind so that I can open myself up for the poker days. Now, this sounds weird, right? Because I know what you're thinking. You're thinking, well, poker's my biggest priority. I should play poker, and if I have time, I'm going to do the other things. It's easy to trivialize the other things in your life, especially because your ROI in poker is so immediate. It's so easy to see the result manifest of the money you can make, the instant gratification of making that money. It's hard to justify doing other trivial things. Believe me, Believe me, I get it. But personally, what I find is that I can only play poker at my highest level when there's nothing else going on in my life, when my headspace is completely clear, when I've done everything, and now I feel like every little thing on my list is checked, whatever it is, that could enter into my energy to cause stress or distract me is put aside, it's maintained, it's ready. I'm completely opened up to play poker, and I can access a very high level of consciousness while I'm playing, and I really feel like I could play A-level poker. And that's hard to do regularly, and you know, you're a human. There's other things going on in your life just besides your ability to make decisions at the poker table, and you have to address them. You can't leave them and let them build up, because then that's going to distract you from your poker. If you notice you're at the table and you're like, I have to check email and stuff like that, that is a sign, that's a symptom of the fact that you haven't budgeted your time correctly. You haven't done the things correctly to put you in the position to play your best poker. Because if you have other things at the table you're thinking about, other things you're doing, if you're not almost like meditating, if you can't pay attention to every hand because you're bored, or you aren't like super like hyper aware of everything that's going on, how people are reacting at the table, it means there's stuff up here that is clogging your ability to think, and you have other things going on. You need to address them first. You need to take care of that so that your headspace is completely opened up for poker. You should be aware of every single hand, every single detail, how everybody's playing, every little minutia, because that's A-game poker. That's really going to let you play your best. If something doesn't get finished because you overextend yourself, skip it for poker. Let that fire build. Let that energy of desire to play build. It's going to help you. Use it for the future. All right. If you like this video, be sure to subscribe, enter your name and email in the header, subscribe to me on YouTube, put out more great free material. I got 4-Step Poker coming out soon. I'm so excited to share that with you guys. So be sure to subscribe. You'll always be the first to know when good free stuff comes your way. And share this with someone you know, please. I'm answering more questions. I got a lot of questions, but I have gotten to every single one that has been asked of me. So please send me your questions. I will answer them, put them in a video just for you. All right, Christoph, I just acted. Now it's on you. Peace.